In this video, we'll take a look at perimeter defense. It's important to learn immediately that defense is played with your legs. Here we'll look at perimeter defensive movements that put pressure on the ball and/or offensive player. First movements you'll see here are our athletes moving forward with their hands out of the water using a transition from egg beater to breaststroke kick to move forward. As our athletes move forward, they can lunge with one hand or move with both hands moving forward. The focus here is on core strength and leg strength, and on each movement dropping the hips and moving from the horizontal to vertical position. Moving with two hands forward should be for higher ability levels. Now you'll see our athletes egg beatering forward with their hands out of the water at all times. This should be to simulate pressing without fouling and keeping your hands out across the pool. Then this is a baseline test for core strength and leg strength and the ability to maintain this horizontal positioning across the pool. These movements together are our base defensive perimeter position. Next, you'll look at a skull to a reach lunge. Here, athletes will be in a reverse skull position, go over their hips, and reach lunge as high as they can. This simulate being head in, feet out in zone-based position. The rest of the movements we'll look at will be for pressing style defense. Next, we'll look at a lunge to a lane to a press. Here, we're combining both of these movements. Athletes will do a lunge to the lane and then move into a press-based position with their hands out of the water without fouling. So again, we're combining a reach lunge and a press without fouling. Next, we'll look at no foul lunges. Here, athletes will again transition from egg beater to breaststroke kicks, putting pressure on the ball, showing no foul, and then continuing to press. So again, the athletes will put pressure on the ball, egg beater up with both hands up to show that they're not fouling, and then continue to press and put pressure on the ball. Next, you look at the 360 no foul lunge. Athletes do a quick 360 move to break out of a hold or to reset their positioning. After this 360 movement, they'll go into a horizontal lunge and to a vertical lunge to show their hands the entire time while they're putting pressure on the ball and the offensive player. This will also simulate a great center defensive drill. Lastly, we'll look at a lunge to a lane with a reverse pivot. First, we'll have the athletes do this alone without an offensive partner. They'll lunge to the lane, do a reverse pivot to maintain their drive defensive position, and then recover on the opposite end. Here, our athletes are focusing on all of their awareness: ball, player, area, and center. Once again, the athletes will lunge to the lane, reverse pivot, and make sure that they recover with their hips up at the end of this. A better way to practice this is to have players match up offense and defense. So the offensive player will simulate driving, while the defensive player will start with their lunge to the lane, reverse pivot to recover on the drive, and then recover at the end to maintain their press defensive position. Again, with all of these movements, it's important to remember that your defense is played with your legs and to always be aware of your ball, player, area, and the center.